everyone, and welcome back to Migration Station. Once again, my name is Jill.
And my name is Hannah. For today's segment, we will be discussing, drumroll please, Western migration.
1785, 1785, 1785, 1785! How long ago was that again, Hannah?
If I am doing my math correctly, I'd say about 15 years.
Wow, it's been 15 years since the Land Ordinance of 1785. What a time to be alive! It feels like just yesterday they sold the Old Northwest for our national debt.
Yes, I agree 100%. That beautiful land, northwest of the Ohio River, east of the Mississippi River, and south of the Great Lakes, that beautiful land has just been sold. You know, some pioneer folks were just enraged by that.
Funny thing, actually. To be honest, I myself was a little mad about that too, Hannah. Britain granted us all that land, with generous boundaries during the Treaty of Paris 1783. We had never felt more independent at that moment. Especially with our growing population, it could have been helpful for the option to expand. I know many colonists agree with that too.
You couldn't be more right, Jill. That actually reminds me of when the London government issued the Proclamation of 1763. Remember the anger and frustration of the Americans?
They just couldn't believe it. They had glorified and fought for that land, only to be cut off with a fine line down the colonies. They couldn't believe the audacity to prohibit settlement in the area beyond the Appalachians.
But you know what? That can actually be considered a good thing here. It gave them new vision, a new sense of sight for their destiny to expand and flourish and excel in the newfound land. In a sense, it was sort of a wake-up call for the colonists to keep fighting for land that should always be ours.
You're so right, and we will be back right after this commercial break. Is your plot of land not reaping the wonders it used to? In need of some new scenery? Up for an adventure? Thanks to Thomas Jefferson's Louisiana Purchase, America has just doubled in size. This new land is cheap, fertile, and oh, so beautiful. Untouched by man, the Louisiana Purchase offers millions of luscious acres for land for any fortune-seeking farmer. Even the go-getters who have never owned land before are eligible to score on this amazing opportunity thanks to the low prices of Western land. So pack your bags, explorers, and go make history today. This just in, breaking news! Thomas Jefferson has just made the Louisiana Purchase. America has just doubled in size thanks to Napoleon's generous offer. Let the Western migration begin!
Whoa, people, it's not as simple as that. Don't listen to Jill, just start packing your bags. We need to develop first in order to prepare for Western settlement. For one, we need a greater population if our country is going to double.
Oh, Cindy, we already have a greater population. Every 25 years, our population doubles, meaning this is the perfect time to begin expanding our country. While we might not have a super great population now, at this rate, we'll have no problem populating the area bought through the Louisiana Purchase.
Well, what are we to do about the future states to come? I, a northern abolitionist, would hate to see new states succumb to the horrors of slavery.
I think that's hardly fair to the Southerners, like myself. We need those slaves to do all our hard work. How could you possibly suggest...
Hello? Yes, this is Western Migration Station. Oh, how wonderful. I just received terrific news from Henry Clay. At this very moment, Congress is crafting the Missouri Compromise, which will determine which states can have slaves. While it does not satisfy both the Northerners and the Southerners completely, I think this is a good short-term solution to the problem.
Wait, Missouri? What's Missouri? How did you even get a call? How are we even on TV? It's 1820 for crying out loud. We shouldn't be learning about any of these news for weeks or months.
Shh. Time is an illusion. I predict much more advanced communications are soon to come. Right, Missouri. Well, it turns out people really took your advice to heart and began the Western migration because our newest state, Missouri, is ready for legalization. With the Missouri Compromise, Missouri and anything south of it will be slave states. Anything north of Missouri, including our next state, Maine, will be free states.
I don't see why you Northerners have such a big problem with slavery. It's better than your masses of child laborers working in factories.
Hey now, haven't you heard? Labor laws are beginning to take a turn for the better. All white men can vote now, and I'm sure they'll make an effort to change labor laws.
Oh, how wonderful! All men voting, not just the rich landowners, will really help level the playing field in the government. The Western migration has already led to so many changes.
You're so right, Jill, and we'll discover even more changes to come right after this break.
Are you tired of being cut off from orders during wartime? Are you tired of not being able to talk to your family for years at a time? Well, that can all change now, thanks to the telegraph. The telegraph is an incredible invention. It allows messages to be sent through a series of dots and dashes. How awesome! Buy a set of machines to communicate with whoever you want for the bargain price of only $5,000. Send a marked envelope to the telegraph company at 1 Washington Avenue in Washington, D.C. Don't miss out on this incredible opportunity.
Wow, I can't believe how much our country has expanded. We've almost tripled the size of America within the past 35 years.
I know, right? The Louisiana Purchase, the Florida Purchase, and the annexation of Texas more than doubled the size of this country.
The Florida Purchase was a pleasant surprise, considering that wasn't our intention. I can't believe General Jackson managed to capture Florida when he was only there to retrieve our men.
Yes, Andrew Jackson has achieved so much throughout the years, beginning with the famous Battle of New Orleans, the successful Florida Purchase Treaty, and even becoming the first president from the West.
Under Jackson's presidency, we also annexed Texas from Mexico.
I can still hear "Remember the Alamo" being shouted by the Texans during the war.
Who would have guessed that the Texans, whose army numbered only 900 men, would win against the 1,300 Mexican soldiers? Their strategy was impeccable. They practically had the Mexican ruler bowing at their feet.
Unfortunately, the Mexican ruler revoked the treaty right after he was released.
But President Jackson came to the rescue. The day before his second term ended, he recognized Texas as an independent country, and later, Texas was annexed and became part of our country.
Yes, the annexation of Texas expanded our territory, but was it really worth it? Because Texas was added as a slave state, tensions between the North and South are rising higher and higher each day.
There were more positive than negative effects, though. Migration towards the West helped trade flourish in the U.S. The fur trappers were able to trade beaver pelts for manufactured goods in the East, creating a strong economy. And even further west, other merchants traded sea otter pelts. Plus, the population in America grew rapidly through its expansion.
Wow, the West is truly amazing, although the population impacted America negatively as well. Because of the massive amount of people, the number of unemployed increased and more people began to live in the slums. Policing became less strict, water became impure, and there are rats everywhere you turn. Also, the soil in the West isn't even good for farming, it's so dense.
You're forgetting about the steel plow, invented by John Deere of Illinois. A couple years ago, he created a plow that could withstand the hard soil, unlike the wooden plows, which would break all the time. It was also light enough for a horse to carry it.
You're right, I did forget about that. Wasn't another invention of the West the McCormick Reaper?
That's right! Cyrus McCormick invented the mechanical mower reaper around the same time as John Deere's steel plow. The reaper was equivalent, if not better, to the cotton gin invented by Eli Whitney. The reaper could do the work of 5 men. A surplus of raw materials were made for both the domestic and foreign markets, creating a booming American economy.
I can't wait to see what else this country has in store right after this commercial break. The land gained in the West? Well, look no further. This steel plow invented by John Deere will fix the problem, and you'll never have to worry about your wooden plows breaking again. These steel plows are strong enough to withstand the dense soil of the West, unlike the fragile wooden plows. What are you waiting for? Let the Western migration advance.
What a long commercial break. I feel like we haven't been on the air in 20 years. In breaking news, Abraham Lincoln has been elected president.
Indeed he has, and he looks to be leading a newly enlarged nation. Over 40% of our citizens now live west of the Appalachians, a boundary which we thought could never be crossed.
Yes, and much of this land is a result of the Mexican War and the Treaty of Guadalupe Hidalgo.
That is true. You see, our president, James K. Polk, declared war against Mexico in 1846 because he believed Mexico had interfered in an American state, Texas, and decided that this interference required swift military retaliation.
Now this war raged on for 2 years before the Treaty of Guadalupe Hidalgo was signed, ending the conflict. Under the treaty, America gained over 1 million square miles of land, more than it ever gained in one time in the past.
Wow! Now that provides increased motivation for more westward migration. Do you know what else would increase the Americas' ability to move west?
I don't know, Hannah. What?
That would be the Gadsden Purchase. This purchase was made in 1853 and finalized in 1854 when James Gadsden, an American ambassador to Mexico, signed an important treaty with Mexican officials.
This crucial treaty granted the United States almost 30,000 square miles of land that had formerly been Mexican.
This land was also incredibly important for a reason we have not even discussed yet. It provided the area to build a transcontinental railway.
This purchase also ended years of squabbling for land between Mexico and America, allowing Americans to more comfortably immigrate to the southwestern portion of the continent.
You know, Lindsay, much of this migration into these new lands was motivated by a brand new slogan representing the American attitude towards westward migration.
And what slogan would that be, Hannah?
Manifest Destiny. Manifest Destiny was first used in 1845 to embrace the ideal that America was meant to stretch from ocean to ocean.
Correct, Hannah. You are so smart. People were motivated by the idea that they were meant to move into the western part of the country and began migrating rapidly towards the west coast.
And that about sums up the developments over the past 20 years in westward migration. We'll be back to you right after this commercial break.
Does this machine look familiar? Do you own some land? Is this something that interests you? The cotton gin is great for all your home desires. With some easy steps, you or your slave can make 100 pounds of cotton a day. For a limited time only, this will be on sale for $99.99 if you call right now to 1-800-WHITNEY. Again, $99.99 for a limited time only. Call 1-800-WHITNEY to receive this discounted price.
Wow, I feel like I've been sitting here for almost 200 years.
I know, right? Let's take a look at the long-term effects of the western migration.
Well, for one, the Missouri Compromise further pitted the Northerners and the Southerners against each other over slavery. Although it was delayed, the war was inevitable. The Civil War took place in 1861, which ended with the abolition of slavery for good.
Well, don't forget about the Native Americans. They were forced off their land and violently oppressed by all Americans.
In addition to these effects, the country expanded so that it stretched from the Pacific to the Atlantic, the modern boundaries of the country. Without westward expansion, our nation would be 2/3 the size it is today.
You know, you are so right. Thank you guys for tuning in to this segment on western migration. I'm Jill.
I'm Lindsay.
And this is Migration Station.